just got laid off about an hour ago. I cried for a while, and I think the hardest part about it is I loved my job, I cared so much, but like knowing that you put your full effort towards something and then feeling like they decided it wasn't enough or it wasn't worth enough. Like right now I feel just very like not even undervalued, because I clearly am not valued, but like that all of my effort wasn't good enough, or it wasn't important, or it wasn't relevant. I got laid off today, and it's just, I don't know. And LA is burning and their fires are everywhere, and I got laid off and I don't have a job. So like in perspective, it's not that big of a deal. There's other jobs, but it goes so much deeper than not having a job. So yeah, I don't know. I'm jobless.
So my manager just pinged me and said, could I jump on a call real quick? I said, of course. I jumped on, and the first thing she said was, hey, Andretta, I just want to cut straight to the chase. As you know, the company has been doing some cutbacks, and we barely have enough roles for our full-time people. So just wanted to let you know that Friday is going to be your last day. It sucks. It really does. It sucks, especially when you're the breadwinner. It sucks when you really love what you do. And I understand it's just the business, it's just the world of tech, but it sucks. I didn't cry on camera. Of course, thanked her for the opportunity. I just wasn't expecting it, because even though it's been slowing down a lot lately, I always stay engaged, stay busy. But I mean, I get the business of it, but it just really sucks, especially it just sucks, getting that call saying, hey, you're no longer needed. One thing I told myself when I took this role is that, this is the nature of the beast when you're working in tech. You have to keep that mindset while you're in that type of work environment. But I think it just is hard because, as you guys know, my dad was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, and I've been, the sole provider and making sure he stays well and financially covering things. So this is tough. And look, I know I'm not the first or will be the last person to be let go from a role, from a job. I'm going to stay positive, because jobs come and go, roles come and go, positions come and go, employment comes and goes. And she did, give me the option to, do I want to keep working throughout the rest of the week or not? It's really up to me, since my last day is Friday, which I appreciate her saying. I mean, I don't know. What if you've ever, been let go from a job? What did you do in that moment right after? It was literally, this just happened less than 3 minutes ago. How did you feel? What did you do? What was your next move? Did you just kind of sit back and, take a day to think about it, then got back up the next day and kept going? Or, just like, what did you do?
The House of Representatives just passed a budget that took $1 trillion of established benefits from SNAP, which is food stamps, and Medicaid. $1 trillion. That is essentially gutting the food stamps program and Medicaid for the purposes of providing a tax break and refunds to billionaires. This is literally insane. Our federal officials for the past year and some change have been sending billions upon billions upon billions of our dollars abroad, have given tax cuts to the ultra wealthy, but at least we had some semblance of social programs, and now they are starting to try to take these social programs. Granted, it's not a done deal. This was the House, and it only passed by a very slim margin, 217 votes to 215 votes. The Senate has passed a different budget, and they have to come to an agreement on what it's going to be. But if I'm honest, yes, call your senators and your members of the House of Representatives to tell them that you want them to put.
Okay, so I guess I have an unpopular opinion. I'm finally ready to talk about it. So I was laid off yesterday, and I just finally had a job, like after I had 2 kids and became a mom. They're 8 and 6. And so it's been a couple of years. I stayed at home, for a while until I think 2020. And I had 2 jobs since then. And so this last job, I got laid off and I got into a role that was easy, that was flexible. And I just wanted to go underneath the radar and stay in that role forever. I didn't need to get paid more. I didn't need to, have more job responsibilities and, promoted or whatever to manager, any of that. I just, wanted one of those roles, just let me do my job and don't even look twice about me or, whatever. And so they gave me a new role after they fired somebody. It was back in October. I didn't really want it, but it's a small company and I could tell by my boss, it's he wants you to take it because that's his ultimatum. He wants everybody to be an underwriter or whatever. So yeah, I, didn't really get a chance, I feel to be I don't want this role, even though he kind of mentioned, but I don't think he meant it. And so I had to take the role and I just did not like it. It was just so many more responsibilities and work, and you could see further down the line what they were preparing you to be ultimately an underwriter and, just work a lot of hours and a lot of responsibility. I didn't want that. And so I wasn't really putting more effort into it. I was just, I guess some people say on here, doing the bare minimum. And so I got laid off and, I it's like a job, how people say that, you get a paycheck and that's it. I didn't love my job. It wasn't passionate or anything like that. So now I'm just praying that, I could figure out a way to find something to do that doesn't necessarily pay a lot of money. And I know I'm very privileged to say that, but that'll make me happy so that, I have time to juggle, what I want to do as a mom, but have some kind of paycheck. And cause I'm not a big spender, in a way. This is a filter. I don't do my nails. I don't do my hair. I just want to have more free time. And I don't know, I guess it feels kind of I should have just been grateful for any job in this economy, but why did they have to give me that role? I did not want it. I just wanted to be in the last job. And I feel there are 2 types of people usually in the corporate world. One is the one that wants that job. And maybe before I had kids, I would have been that woman, oh, give me a promotion, give me more work, give me more money, And then there's other people that are I just want to be in this position forever. And I wanted to be the latter, and it just didn't happen to me. So it's unfortunate, but at the same time, I'm privileged in a fortunate spot where I should be okay. But it just happened.
Y'all, I just came out of my second interview for a job and I never felt so disrespected and have it be so unprofessional. Keep in mind, I have my degree. Okay, I have a bachelor's degree, but the job market in Southern California is so bad that even office jobs are paying minimum wage. So I'm why would I, do an office job when I could just do a restaurant job and have it be low stake and stuff? So I decided to apply to a restaurant. I went to the first interview. The interviewer, the lady, she was very nice, very professional. It was a normal thing. Okay. And I was applying for a server position. The reason why is because I need to get braces or Invisalign, and so I need to be able to pay it. So whatever I can get, it's fine. But she did tell me, hey, you don't necessarily have server experience. So are you open to any other positions just in case, because I really like you? And I'm you know what? Yeah, I can be open to a hostess. But I applied for a server position here because supposedly y'all don't require experience. You will train. That's what your website says. That's what your listing on Indeed said. So I'm still thinking it's a possibility, but I understand that, they tend to promote their hostess up like any other restaurant. I'm understanding. So I come back for my second interview. I literally finished it 15 minutes ago, and I'm sitting down with a guy or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, you're definitely not gonna get the server position. It wouldn't be fair. Da, 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 da. And I was like, oh, okay, I understand. Let's continue on with the interview. And then he was like, I think he asked me one question. And then he was like, okay, now what questions do you have for me? And I was like, okay, the first interviewer told me that this person likes questions, so I did have some questions prepared. So I was like, okay, if you could give feedback to your employees, whether it's weaknesses, strengths, like what would you like to see improvement. And then he was like, well, like that would depend on the individual, like I couldn't tell you, like da, da, da. And I was like, okay, like, and he's like, next question. And I was like, all right. So then I was like, what would you say is your favorite quality about this, you know, restaurant? And then he was kind of like, well, like guest service, da, da, da. And I was like, okay, what appealed you to this job? Like, why do you have the job that you have? And then he was like, well, like, you're kind of asking the same questions. Like, I'm going to keep giving you the same answer. And then I was like, okay, what would be the day-to-day for, like, a host or a server? And he's like, well, you're not going to get the server position. So, like, why are you asking? And I was like, okay, like, I was like, I know, like, you know, you said no server, but I was just asking because you're asking me to ask questions. So I'm asking questions, and I had 3 in mind, but you keep saying that I'm asking the same question, and that supposedly you're giving the same answer, that customer service, guest service is the #1 priority, and that's why, like, you know, you like this restaurant, that's what you would emphasize to your employees, like, so.
Well, not how I wanted to start my 2025. I was just laid off. This is actually the first time I've ever been laid off, so I don't really know what to even do or how to process anything. I just dropped off my laptop. It sucks the most because I seriously was only at this company for 2 months. I literally got this job in October and loved every single second of it. Unfortunately, the company was acquired and a lot of us were let go. Nothing you can do about it, but it definitely sucks. I have no idea what I want to do. I don't know if I want to even keep working for a company or what. I got my real estate license back in early October. I'm like, maybe I should just pursue that. But I also really liked the idea of having like a stable income with a job. I'm also getting married this year and have lots of expenses. So yeah. I still know it's going to be a great year. Like, I'm truly trying to be positive. I know everything happens for a reason, but yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Well,
I'm ugly crying right now because I have not made any money at all, and unemployment still hasn't paid me, and I've had a couple people interested in taking my apartment, but then they just fell through last second, and I'm like, we're days away from July 1st, and I was like, I have no idea how I'm gonna pay rent. Like,
2025, I'm gonna need a refund because this year sucks already. I just got laid off for basically the second time back to back. If you didn't know, I worked at Twitter and I got laid off when Elon Musk acquired the company. Since then, I've been working at a like a content strategy agency type place as a director of strategy, and I just got laid off yesterday. It's surreal because I definitely didn't want to go through another layoff. Being laid off the first time was one of the most traumatic events that have ever happened to me, especially because it happened so publicly. This time was obviously a little bit different, but the company lost some clients, and now here I am without a job. It's hard not to reevaluate my life choices at this point. I work in tech, and so I'm wondering if that's still what I should be doing. It's hard to feel like secure in a job anymore. It feels like those days are over. So I don't know if I should be in tech anymore or working this corporate life. I love the security of having a stable job, but that hasn't been the case for quite some time for me because it's just been so unstable in the industry. So I'm considering other options, obviously. I had a wild idea. I think somebody on TikTok said, hey, become an ultrasound tech. That takes like 2 years of schooling and then you're in. And I was like, sounds good to me. But again, I also really enjoyed my job doing marketing, strategy, working in the digital space, working with tech. It is fast paced and it's very exciting. So I honestly don't know what to do. If you have any advice for me, I would love to friggin' hear it because I'm swirling. This all happened yesterday. So I've been like waffling between panic applying to places and just rotting on the couch. Would love something more constructive to do with my time. But if you have any advice, any tips, any job leads or connections, please let me know. I'm in the Bay Area, remote work, anything. I want to be busy. I'm somebody who likes to do things. So this is my plea to you, TikTok. Thank you so much.
So I just got my food stamp letter regarding my cash assistance and my disability because somebody reported me and they denied me for all of it. So me and my kids were getting disability. I was getting cash assistance and I was also getting food stamps. And they shut me off on all of them. I did an appeal. I just got my letter. So with this new 2025 food stamp that Trump is trying to pass or is passed, if you are an able-bodied person, you have to go get a job. If you want food stamps, you have to go get a job. So I either have to go get a job or I lose my food stamps. But if I go get a job and start making money, then my disability, it gets canceled. So how does that work? Because I was on food stamps, I was on cash assistance, and I was on disability. Me and my kids. What I make should not matter for my kids' disability. Am I right or am I wrong about that? And TikTok, my TikTok income is not considered a real job. I have to go get a real job if I want to keep my food stamp. But then I will lose disability if I get that job. Help me out, state of Michigan.